Hello, welcome to another talk on money, business, and investment. My name is Jose. I'm the founder of the company and brand here at Master Investor. Ensure to subscribe if you're new to our community. Turn on the notifications so that you know when we go live or upload a valuable talk that can change our life financially as long as we apply the information into our lives. Remember, that's how we turn information into knowledge, is the application that we endure into our lives with that information. We need to get the results. If we just read something or listen to something we don't apply, it's just information. Today's topic is going to be on how to be a wealthy investor, the 3 key competencies that successful investors must possess, and 7 ways to start a business to transition from the left side to the right side of the cash flow circle. If you have any questions, make sure to let me know in the chat box. I'm going to be watching them and come back and answer them as we move forward. Summary: there are 2 kinds of investors, but only one has the potential to make us wealthy. Learn more about money management to become an investment strategist like the wealthy. We need to have a wealthy in order to be a wealthy investor. Investors fall into 2 categories. Package investors. Number 1, investors that purchase package investments are the most prevalent type of investors. They make a purchase over the phone from a retail establishment like a stockbroker, financial planner, or real estate firm. It might be a bond, stock, mutual fund, or REIT, fake assets as we call them here, because all they're doing is withdrawing money out of our pocket. Investing in packages is a neat and easy method. It is similar to shopping for a computer at a store and purchasing it off the shelf. It doesn't require any financial intelligence to really become a package investor. The reason why the package investor is a package investor is because he or she lacks financial education. So they have fear when it comes to investing. And investing has risk, but it's a calculated risk. When we have financial education, we can read the financial statement of whichever business we want to acquire or even build from scratch. We can do pro formas. We can do a business plan that projects the sales and the cash flow of that business based on competitors. Doing our due diligence. Number 2 is creative investor. Investors with a creative mindset make investments. They typically put together a contract in a similar manner to how a computer is assembled by a component buyer. Just like constructing a computer from the ground up, investing of this kind requires a skill, expertise, patience, and time. So putting the deal together is the best way to invest. Learning how to find opportunities that other people cannot see because we have financial education, and we can bring that opportunity to banks, to other investors, because they may not have the time to put the deal together, but they have the money to put it into a good deal. So raising capital, as we always say, is the number 1 skill, the number 1 job of an entrepreneur. And the number 1 skill is to sell without selling using systems and smart marketing. Be a creative investor if we want to invest like the wealthy. An experienced investor is the creative investor. There are situations where a deal may not come together for years, and occasionally they never do. It is critical to acquire the skills necessary to assemble a creative investment when things don't go our way. We can suffer significant losses, but there is a big payoff when everything comes together. So failure is part of success when it comes to investing, right? And we can avoid failure by investing in more mentors that are appropriate, aligned to what we want to do. So if we want to invest in real estate, then find a mentor that has already succeeded in that area, and we pay for their mentorship. They may have products, they may have seminars, and it's important now that we have access to the information right from our fingertips. We can tap into the right group of people and then apply that information, right? So we can learn right from the masters. So invest in other people's mentorships, right? Go out there and do your due diligence, find people that are aligned with your financial goals, and then begin to acquire those key components in our lives, right? We need to have mentors. Even in person, it's important to be able to pick up the phone and call somebody and have those people that can give us their feedback based on their experience that they have, because they have success in whichever area we want to go into. We have been using these financial teachings as a creative investor since our best mentors who are wealthy encourage us to be one. It is a wise investment to become a creative investor, not just a package investor. 3 abilities of creative investors. We must put a lot of effort into increasing our financial literacy through financial education if we want to be a creative investor. Following our financial education, we will need to hone 3 key competencies. Raising funds is a skill that most people find difficult to learn. Yet it is essential for becoming a creative investor. Even when the bank refuses to grant money, the resourceful investor needs to know how to get financing. And when we have a good deal, money will finance, or we will find the money because it's an attractive deal. They're betting on the deal, they're not betting on us, and we have a team put together, and we have the 4 essential things that we talk about all the time when we are building a business, so we can present it to the investors. We have an article on that. You can take a look at all of our articles on our newsletter. If you want to read our daily articles, make sure you subscribe. It's free, and click the link in the description of this audio, because we have tools, resources that are free that you can take advantage today. We have 3 ebooks right now: the 10-year rules of money, how to build cash flow with the internet, turn passive income on, and how to invest in crypto to build wealth. We're working on our 4th ebook. It should be released this month. Stay tuned. It's going to be how to raise capital to build wealth. Everything that we're doing here is to improve our financial IQ. Our mission at Master Investor is to elevate the financial well-being of humanity through high-quality financial education. Made simple, we look at an opportunity to build passive income and true wealth. Remember, there are 2 types of income when it comes to investing: passive income and capital gains income. Passive income is the best out of the 2 because it is excess of constant cash flow coming into our pockets, and that is what's going to give us true freedom. However, some assets and asset classes will only bring capital gains income, and even before we invest, we must know which type of income we are going to get from that investment. Okay, and a lot of people only know how to invest for capital gains income because passive income requires a higher level of financial education. So we always strive here in our community. Rule number 1 is that we work to build passive income and then make money work hard through sound investing, which will bring us capital gains income as well. Because as we say, we diversify among the 5 different asset classes that exist. We cannot diversify in just one asset class, because then if that asset class goes down, then we will lose everything. So as a master investor, as an inside investor, as a true capitalist, we must master how to diversify among the 5 asset classes that exist. Number 1, business. Number 2, real estate. Number 3, crypto. Number 4, paper assets. Number 5, commodities. The good news is there are plenty of ways to get money that don't require a bank. Thankfully, to the information age that we live in today, right? We have access to all the information that we can ever ask for. We can contact people via email. We can raise capital through different platforms that exist today, so we don't have to go directly through the bank. There are many companies that are in the business of lending money, okay? Peer-to-peer lending, so many ways we can literally put a deal together and raise the capital. Seize a chance that others have passed on. Number 1, see with our thoughts what the eyes failed to see. Give the story of a man who purchased an old house that had a creepy appearance. His surroundings will question why he purchased it, but he was able to see what others were unable to. We found that the house came with 4 more lots after visiting the little firm. He just demolished the house after purchasing it and sold the 5 lots to a builder for 3 times the price of the complete package. His salary after 2 months of work was $75,000. Though not much, it is certainly better than the minimum wage. It is also not technically challenging. All it required was a shift in perspective and a creative mind. Number 2, out of the 3 competencies that we need: raise money. The typical person only visits a bank to withdraw cash. They say things like they don't have the money to buy, or the bank won't lend them money, when a wonderful opportunity presents itself. The way the typical investor thinks about money and investing hinders them. We have to become creative when it comes to building wealth. We must use OPM, or other people's money, to invest for passive income, meaning borrow funds. We can do that by mastering how to manage good debt and bad debt to build wealth. Understanding how money is created today is required for us to manage debt successfully. We must use debt to become truly wealthy and minimize taxes as much as legally possible, because remember, today money is created with debt. And so the law says that debt is tax-free. So if we use a credit card, if we borrow money, if we get a loan, that money is tax-free right from the gate. So when we use debt and we now invest it into an asset that produces passive income, we know that passive income is taxed at the lowest bracket out of the three types of income that exist: earned income, capital gains income, passive income. Two types of income come from investing, like I mentioned earlier: capital gains income and passive income. And earned income comes from a job, and it's taxed at the highest bracket. The employee doesn't have too much room to minimize taxes because the laws are not in the favor of the employee and self-employed. Left side of the cash flow circle. On the right side of the cash flow circle, we have the business owner and inside investor. I'm going to go through their vocabulary and the way they think in a minute. Okay, let me just walk you through these three competencies. So using other people's money, important, right? OPM. And other people's talent as well, because as a master investor, as we grow our wealth and freedom, we need to learn how to delegate. So we don't have to be the best at everything that we do. We bring the best out of other people, right? We look for a specialist and people that like to do certain type of task, and then we hire them and we use their talents to go ahead and create a product for us, to help us inside of our organization. But we need to learn how to delegate. We need to be okay and be comfortable with having people around us that are smarter than we are. If we're the smarter person in our team is in trouble. We need to find a better team. Okay, so we need to get used to being uncomfortable all the time, because that's how we grow. Number 3, put intelligent people in order. Smart people recruit or collaborate with smarter people than they are. Make sure we select our consultants carefully when we need help. Not all attorneys, not all CPAs have the right mindset, right? When it comes to money. Some of CPAs will tell people not to make money because they're going to pay more in taxes, or they'll tell them not to make more money. And that's the wrong language. If a CPA says that to a master investor, that master investor is going to run away, because we understand that a good CPA will say, make more money. We will figure out how to minimize taxes because we'll have more business expenses available to us. And we will have a tax strategy in front of our year ahead. So whatever money we're getting from our businesses, we already have a plan for that money. And that action that we're going to take with that money is going to help us minimize taxes, because we have already talked to our tax attorney and we have created a tax strategy to make sure that we are legally minimizing taxes. So when people talk about the wealthy not paying taxes and they say that they're fraudsters or whatnot, those people have a lack of financial education, because this country, first and foremost, is built with the foundation of paying as little as possible in taxes. So I don't know where in history it became patriotic for people to pay taxes. It's actually the very opposite. You know, people have it backwards. It's because of their financial education. So if they just knew a little more about this country and the way it works and the way the economy works, we are built to pay as little in taxes as possible. That's what the country wants us to do if we follow what they said to do, which is invest in oil, housing, food, things that better the economy. And so when we do that, the government partnered up with us, the banks partnered up with us, because they're in the business of lending money, and they want to lend money to people that know how to manage that money and different assets that produce passive income. And like I said, sometimes capital gains income, not all assets will bring passive income, but we want to focus on building passive income. Even if it's a one digital course, one product that you're building, maybe you have a skill that you want to talk about and you can help other people. So if you're a chef, then you have a recipe. Now you're selling that recipe for $5, right? And now you're selling 10 sales a day. So that is passive income that is coming in without you working. So it can start very small and turn into something big. It can turn into a big brand. So don't underestimate our skills, our talents, because we can find fortune in them using technology. So put people that are smart to work together is something that requires the skills, and it requires us to do self-development, because smart people are not going to listen to people if they're not the right leader. We need to develop ourselves, okay? Being a wealthy investor requires a lot of knowledge and experience in several areas. However, the benefits are enormous. It is strongly advised that we become a creative investor if we want to have freedom. If you don't want to acquire those skills, then you need to become a package investor, which is not something that we recommend, because you're just literally giving your money away to somebody else to do it for you. So you have lost your power, you have lost the decision-making process, right? You have no way to know about that investment until they give you their data. So you have no control over that investment, you have zero leverage, and that is what we tell people not to do here inside our community, because it takes all the benefits away from the investor, because it's a passive investor, not an active investor. Ultimately, our biggest asset is our knowledge. And 3 things that we should never jeopardize on, sell, or mismanage are our mind, right? Freedom, we should never jeopardize on our freedom. And our time. We should never sell our time unless we're doing it to build our wealth, right? Unless we're learning a skill that we need to build our wealth. So if we have a sales position somewhere, then we're learning about sales, which is required to become a wealthy entrepreneur. So don't just work to earn, work to learn too. So make sure that you're choosing your positions if you're going to take a job to start building your wealth, because we do need to put a roof over our head, eat and whatnot. We need to have some sort of income, right, coming in, but we need to turn that income into passive income, and we need to attach ourselves to positions that will help us build our entrepreneurial skills, okay? And the process is going to be a lot smoother as we transition from the left side of the cash flow circle to the right side of the cash flow circle. And our biggest risk is what we don't know. However, risk will always exist. Therefore, learn to manage it rather than eliminate it. Invest in our financial knowledge so that we can use creative investment to become a wealthy investor in the future. Bonus question: what are we going to do today daily to increase our financial education? The wisdom in starting our business small but smart. When we are first starting out, work to learn, not to make money. Making a move to the right side of the cash flow circle is crucial for launching a brand. Establishing a business is an experience that calls for a spirit of entrepreneurship. Understanding the cash flow circle will help us decide which money player we wish to become and which side of the cash flow circle we will be operating from. To begin, consider the cash flow circle. We have probably already become acquainted with the cash flow circle by this point. This cash flow circle provides a straightforward explanation of the 4 distinct career paths and the driving forces behind each money player in the game of money. On the left side of the cash flow circle, we can see on the diagram in front of us, if you're looking at the live stream right now, if you're listening to our podcast, then make sure you go to our YouTube, subscribe over there, because we are sharing the screen and you can see our article, or you can just subscribe to our newsletter. If you don't have time to see the video or listen to a podcast, at least you'll have time to read it via email. However, on screen we have the cash flow circle. We have the left side, we can see the employee, we see the self-employed. So the employee has a job, the self-employed owns a job, and the left side of the cash flow circle pays the highest in taxes. They work for active or earned income, okay? On the right side of the cash flow circle, we have the business owner, owns and controls systems. And sound investor makes money work hard through sound investing. E stands for employee, workers or employees long for stability. Employees don't place a high value on understanding money and how it operates. Employees search for higher paying positions when they require more money. S stands for self-employed. When someone becomes extremely affluent at their job and is wary of working for employers they know they can outperform, they typically shift to the S side, or the self-employed. Self-employed people include physicians, attorneys, dentists, accountants, and employees of other service-oriented companies and consultants. Although they still want for security, these workers have a larger risk threshold than typical employees and are willing to take on a little bit more risk in order to maintain control over the time. So an Uber driver, for example, or a dentist is a self-employed, right? They have control over the time, but they're still working for somebody else. and they're still exchanging their time for money. If the Uber driver doesn't show up or doesn't drive, he or she doesn't make money. Now, if the Uber driver pays somebody to drive that car for them and they collect a percentage at the end of the day, then that Uber driver that owns the car becomes now a business owner and now has some cash flow coming in because he's hiring a driver and so forth. But you can't do that with Uber. But if you launch your own company and whatnot, maybe rent the car instead of driving it and giving rides, and now you can shift yourself from the left side of the cash flow circle to the right side of the cash flow circle. B represents business owners of businesses don't want to be employed. We aspire to possess a product or system that generates passive income even when we aren't working. We are the ones who create jobs and boost the economy, since we are excellent at delegation skills. Being able to earn money from our business even when we are not working is the nicest aspect of being a business owner. Above all, entrepreneurs want expansion and autonomy. We attract financial freedom through positive cash flow. I represents for Inside Investor, the most financially literate individual, and the money pledgers are inside investors. We know that we may live a life of freedom from work if we locate assets that generate steady income flow, or passive income, or cash flow. Making money work for us rather than the other way around is what drives us. We search for a chance to buy assets that generate more passive income when we require more money, opposed to an employee. When they require more money, they look for a higher paying job. We look for other businesses. We look for opportunities. We look for launching a business when we need more money. We make money work hard through sound investing to acquire more true wealth and total freedom. As we can see the cash flow, the tax hit drum in front of us, which is basically a diagram that shows how we should begin to acquire our true wealth. We build the businesses. Those businesses' revenue will pay for our expenses and will pay also for real estate down payments and other paper assets and other assets, right? So our businesses ultimately will buy us other businesses and other investments. And that's the holy grail of investing. That's when we tap into the velocity of cash flow and we get into something that is called infinite return on investment. That's when we have none of our capital invested into the deal, but yeah, we still control the deal. We control the asset, right, completely. We have cash flow coming in from the asset, even though we have no money of our own invested in the deal. Maybe we have debt on the deal. Maybe we have a loan, a mortgage, but our capital that we invest initially is recouped. It's already back to us, and now we still control the asset and we still collect positive cash flow. That's money for nothing. That's when we are literally printing money from thin air, because none of our money is into the deal. And that is called infinite return on investment. Every successful investor wants to get to that. Every successful business owner, that's what we're looking for. We're looking to invest our money, get it back, and we're looking to also use 100% financing on deals. Use other people's money as much as possible. But the ultimate goal is to tap into infinite return on investment, and that's when we have freedom units and our assets producing as passive income, and we have recouped the entire capital that we invested initially into that asset. But yeah, we're still getting that cash flow coming in. Okay, that's what we want to do. Recall that this is an adventure. When we are prepared to shift to the right side of the cash flow circle, it is crucial to keep in mind that the process itself is an adventure. For instance, many are overcome with the sense of helplessness and lack of confidence after deciding to resign from their position if they want to start a business. Starting our own business, but in the process, we still need to put a roof over our head, invest in financial education, and eat. Therefore, we must focus on having money available to us for those important things that we need as we build our wealth. Let's continue by outlining a very important guideline: work to learn, not to earn. We build a business because of the challenge. We start a business because it excites us. It's difficult and it will need everything we have to succeed. We will acquire the skills we need to launch the company we intend to launch by accepting a task or maybe even a job that teaches us necessary skills. Some of us can have extreme shyness and fear of rejection. So we suggest that we accept a position that will teach us sales techniques and help us attack our fears. We wish for all of us to become adept at overcoming our own anxieties. We must attack our fears in order to do that and achieve our dreams. Though it can be difficult learning process, it will bring us excess of passive income and capital gains income. It is a true financial commitment that we must follow. Even though we rose to the top of any company at any time, the person will at some point feel strapped because it is only so much he or she can make per day if they are working for earned income in somebody else's company. So at some point, even you race to the top to that company, you may feel strapped. Just know that you can begin to invest on the side. You can work the 8 hours, and in the rest of the day, you dedicate yourself to build a business, right? You start your brand, you start your business, something that will make you money while you're not working. It's going to take time and effort at the beginning, but the whole purpose of that business is that it can replace your income at some point, your earned income. So whenever you don't want to work anymore, then now you have something that is paying your living expenses, and we have no worry of running out of money because that what we have is a true brand. It's not just a commodity that can be replaced by anybody else. It has intrinsic value and business integrity. Intrinsic value means that we have legalities in order. It means that we have protected the logo, we have intellectual property, we have a patent. And then business integrity means that the business has to have a profit. It needs to be built to raise capital to make a profit, okay? And so make sure that when we are launching our business, we're thinking about launching the brand, okay? We need to be thinking big because it's not for us, it's for everybody else. It's to impact the world, right? And we want to be able to have something that can expand. For example, like Coca-Cola or any other brand, Nike, Adidas that we see, they can expand every day. They can get new clients. There's new generations coming along the way. So they can still market to them. And so it's all about the leverage control that we have over our investments. And we can start small and it turns into something big. So don't take for granted small steps. Daily steps count. There are 3 types of income, like I mentioned earlier, but let me just repeat them. Earned income, capital gains income, and passive income. Out of those 3, only the 2 latter are investing incomes. The earned income is from trading one's time for money, and it's also the highest taxed out of the incomes we can all build. A second lesson in light of this reality about finding a way to true wealth is maintaining a day job while beginning a side business can be the smoothest way to transition from the left side of the cash flow circle. It would be a way to escape the rat race successfully, but it requires attention and actively investing. The biggest mistake people make is working too hard for money. The majority of people don't advance financially because they take on part-time jobs when they need more cash. They will start a part-time business and continue their day job if they were truly determined to become wealthy. This holds true for businesses such as Dell Computers, Facebook, Microsoft, and Amazon.com. Thus, if we are prepared to launch a brand or company, here are 7 strategies we can use without leaving a current and temporary job. Number 1, develop our pastime into a company. It will take a lot of time to start a business to start with, so why not engage in something we enjoy? Examine how we choose to spend our free time. About what do we truly have a strong passion? It might be cooking. Now figure out how to monetize it. Could we launch a blog, write about the meal prepare, and record our creative process? Sharing our talents with the world should be enjoyable, as we already do it. Additionally, we will probably run into people who are passionate about the same things we are. And even better, do we have an ebook with recipes? Put together our top 100 recipes, then charge $5 for an ebook. That will be passive income, something easy that anybody can do, right? Or whatever talent you have, you can monetize it. Because today, information is king. Organized information is king. Because that way we can solve somebody's problems, the how-to. We're selling the how-to package on an ebook. Therefore, the person doesn't have to go through the entire pile of information to look for what they need when they can pay us to have what they actually need in order. So organized information can make us very wealthy. Number 2, pay attention on products, no services. Many employees in financial uneducated mindsets, first idea is to start a service business by taking the skills they utilize in the business sector and offer them as consultants. The issue with running a service business, especially part-time, is that they are merely the owner of their employment rather than a company or brand. They're working still for money, right? They're exchanging time for money still. Being in the service industry means that the person must sell their time too. They cannot make money if they are not employed or present at that moment. Additionally, working long freelance hours is a proven way to burn out while they are full-time employees. Instead of offering services, find a means to produce a product. If our product is consulting, create a course that we can market. If we are not into cooking, figure out what we are into and find a method to be paid for it. Not even work with will feel like it, paying attention to the product, team, and systems rather than services, or write books that we can sell if we are a writer. Many writers make money while they're asleep by selling their books as ebooks on Amazon for just $1 each. Now, in order to become a person that sells books, we don't need to become the perfect writers. We don't need to be a top, writer. We're business people. We're here to sell and solve problems. Every company is built to solve a problem. So you may have skills right now that you're sitting on, and you could be creating a short ebook or something and selling that, and that could be your way out of the rat race. So take a look at your skills right now, what you like to do, the passions, and then find products. Become creative, write down the ideas. The products don't even need to be created by us. We can use other people's products. We can do affiliate marketing. We can find other people that have those products, and all we have to do is grab the affiliate link that they will give us for free, and we just bring in leads to those sales pages. So we can actually take advantage today to use other people's products. Many companies, majority of companies have affiliate programs in them, okay, including Amazon. So they want more business. So if we can bring more business to them, they give us a commission, and that commission turns into passive income, because if that ad that we have bringing in those leads is bringing in 10 leads a day, that turns into sales. That is constant income coming in. So it turns into passive income, even though it's a one-time commission, okay, because it's the constant flow of income that we're getting on autopilot. The secret is to identify the product angle by considering the service we may offer. We will be generating income even when we are not working if we can pull that off. That is an actual side business, a real asset that produces cash flow for us, even while we're sleeping. I call it pajama money. Number 3, discover how to make investments. Starting an investment business is another fantastic option to create a successful side gig. Saving money for investments and investing in some time in our financial education are necessary for this, but once we start, the possibilities are endless, and we can quickly complete everything in our free time. Putting the deals together, bringing in deals into other investors and bank stables. They will give us money because they're in the business of lending money. They're always looking for sound investments. So learn how to build investments from the ground up. That's why starting a company is essential. It teaches us so much along the way. Majority of people never get to experience what an entrepreneur experience because they never took the leap of faith of starting a company. Number 4, work on rather than in our business. Let me say that again. Work on rather than in our business. So we work on our business, not in our business. We don't want to be an employee of our business. We want to make sure that we're putting systems in place, we're delegating, and we're understanding that we're doing it to create more freedom for ourselves. That's the ultimate reward because we're solving other people's problems. And we want to detach ourselves from the business. And I like to roll my ideas through something that I speak about here in our community, which is the eye of the needle, right? When we have an idea, if you ever hold the needle on your hand, you'll see that there's a little hole where the string gets put into, right? When a person is going to sew. So we got to put our idea through that eye of the needle. And if the idea can go through that eye of the needle without us, because we can't fit through that eye of the needle, the idea must go through the eye of the needle and then be solid on the other side without us. And that is a true business. When we can put that idea that we have into the eye of the needle, and that can go through and it can come on the other side without us, and it still be functioning, then that we're up to something that could be turned into a true business. So we need to take a look at what we are spending time on and figure out, can that be a true business? Because you don't want to be spending time on something that is just going to require you to be in the business all the time. Then you just have a job, okay? You don't want to have a job when it comes to building wealth, because wealth is all about freedom. So when we're building wealth, we need to understand that, okay, we have to acquire an asset that produces passive income. And at some point, that asset, if we're building it from ground up, is going to have to run on itself without us being in there, because otherwise we don't want to do it, okay? Because it's not an asset. So as simple as an ebook sounds, that is an asset because it's creating us money over and over again without us having to work. People across the world buy our ebooks, and at the same time, could be 100 people looking at the website right now buying our ebooks and our digital courses. That is passive income. So take a look at your passions and write down what you're going to build in order to create passive income. What is going to be your next asset? Start your business, start an investment. So that was number 4. So work on our business rather than our business. Those who operate a side business may be tempted to take all of the job alone, do all the tasks. Finding capable contractors or even freelancers, hiring one or more employees to work for the company is far better option, though, since it will free up our time to manage them and grow the company. Delegating is an important skill we should master in order to build true wealth. We may develop our business and make it more than simply a side project by putting our all into it from the beginning. 5. Form a fantastic team. Many owners of part-time businesses are cheap. They attempt to cut expenses on legal and accounting services. However, because they aren't taught in those areas, they went up requiring more time from them in the long run, as well as occasionally paying more in litigation and tax liens. Just the excellent team members we find, obtaining a competent CPA, locate a top-notch lawyer, the right bookkeeper. When making real estate investments, work with a trustworthy and accomplished broker. Concentrate on our areas of expertise and delegate the rest to others. In other words, sometimes if you try to be cheap at the beginning, and that happens a lot of times, then you end up paying more. So don't try to cut expenses. That's not what we do here to build wealth. I always explain to everyone in our community that in order to build financial freedom, we gotta expand. We gotta learn how to spend money more and more, right? Because that's what we gotta do. Savers are losers. Saving is losing money. Good debtors are winners. Good spenders are winners, right? So we need to learn how to spend money wisely, how to treat our small business like a big business. So if we need to invest in our legalities, we need to have our company structure set up correctly. We need to have our business meeting minutes. We need to meet all the requirements, and we need to pay the CPA. We need to have the bookkeeper on our books and all of that. Those are good expenses. So don't try to cut expenses. And when it comes to building our business, we don't do that. We have to make sure that our legality is in order because we want to build our wealth to the point that no one can take it away from us. We're not worrying when we're going to sleep that somebody's going to come in because we're doing something wrong. We actually have everything in order, and we can go to sleep with peace, and we have freedom, and we have that cash flow coming in. We're helping other people's lives become better. Therefore, our lives become better automatically. So it's all about becoming more generous. How can we serve the world? We all have talents, skills, and we're all special in some way or another. Think about it. I mean, out of 400 million sperms, we were the ones that won that race. So right from the gate, we were already champions. And a lot of people are just listening to other people's opinions too much, and they're becoming their prisoners. So we need to get back to ourselves, figure out what we want out of life, start working towards our financial goals, figure out the game of money, right? I always say, even if you love your job, even if that's what you were supposed to do in life, at some point you're going to want to retire, and you want to live the lifestyle that you always desired. You don't want to live a lifestyle that has less as you grow older. It's supposed to be the very opposite. We're supposed to grow our lifestyle. So that's why here inside our community, I always say expand. We don't shrink, we don't cut expenses, because that's the very opposite of a master investor. Somebody that saves money and cut expenses just for saving money, a master investor will save money to invest. Okay, not just to save money, because we understand saving money is a losing game. Inflation, we can keep up with inflation, taxes on savings, right? And it hinders the entrepreneurial spirit, because we don't learn anything just for savings. Just by saving, going to the bank, anybody can do that. Monkey can do that. So we have to take it to the next level, all right? And we all need mentors in our lives, regardless of how successful we become. The more we know that we don't know anything. So we need to be humble when it comes to building our wealth, right? We need to always seek for those mentors, people that already been where we want to be. And if there's any shortcut in life, that's the shortcut that I can give everyone here in our community, is that we can learn from other people's mistakes, from their knowledge, and we can avoid those mistakes, because there's no rule that says we got to make those mistakes ourselves. So we can learn from other people's mistakes, and when we do make our mistakes, we got to learn the lesson to earn the lesson, right, behind the mistake. And that's when wisdom sits in, and that's when we don't repeat the lesson again. We got to learn it. So make sure that we're always on our tippy toes, fail faster, smarter, right? Pick up whatever we're learning from that lesson, and then we use it immediately so that it doesn't happen to us again. Number 6, take charge of our schedule. The usual justification for not launching a business is a lack of time. This is untrue. Most people will find that they have plenty of time to work on a side business if they audit how they spend their time. One of the main differences between the wealthy and the poor is the way we spend our time. The issue lies in the fact that most people don't own their schedule. Instead, they are owned by being a productivity and time management whiz is essential if we want to manage a profitable business full-time. Reduce TV time, give up going out to bars, and get in bed with something that's going to empower us, right? So we go to sleep a little smarter than we were yesterday. That's what we do here in our community. We gotta read something, we gotta listen to something, exactly what we're doing right now. This is investing in your financial education. So I wanna thank you for spending time with me today and doing what it takes to become a better business person. We wouldn't believe the benefits that a half day on Saturday and an hour or two of work in the evenings may have on us when we're building our wealth, when we invest in our financial education, when we go to a seminar, when we do something to improve ourselves. It has such an impactful ripple effect. It carries on forever, right? And so we gotta nurture ourselves. We gotta plant those seeds in the assets column every single day. Number 7, make use of technology. Lastly, a ton of technology is available to help reduce many chores that took hours to only a few seconds in some situations. To automate many of our repetitive emails, look into and use a reliable CRM or an auto email responder, right? We talk about an email auto responder that is automatically, that collects leads, right? We have to have that. I showed you how to get them online. They're free. They have usually a marketing suite inside the email autoresponder, which we will collect emails. We need to build our networks, right? Remember, in order to become financially independent, we have to have networks of our own. So collecting people's emails and names is very important, because now we can nurture a relationship with them. They're gonna like us, know us, and trust us, so they're gonna wanna do business with us. But we need to make sure that we're providing value, right? And so we're sending emails to their inbox, and it's very personal thing to have somebody's email, because everybody reads their email. So we need to make sure that we put in great value into their inboxes. And when we do that, and we have a message and we have a solution attached to it, then we will get the sales that we're looking for on autopilot. And marketing automation softwares, okay, we need to understand how to use them. They're already created for us. We can also use administrative softwares like QuickBooks, which connects with our smartphone to keep track of our income and expenses while on the road, to scan and make searchable our crucial documents, using appropriate apps for each task, utilize project management software to assist in overseeing our group of contractors and specialists. There are countless options out here that can help us run our systems of each business or investment. Use websites like Fiverr.com to get tasks done for us at very low cost. And remember how the wealthy invest. We invest on the right side of the cash flow circle. So we invest in businesses and we grab that revenue and invest it back in other assets, right? And then we increase our assets column. When we want a liability, we look for an asset that will pay for the liability's expense. At the end of the day, everything is free for us because we have positioned ourselves to obtain everything through business revenue, through passive income or capital gains income. So we focus on the assets column, developing our spirit of entrepreneurship. The entrepreneurial spirit is ignited when a business is started. The majority of large companies begin as part-time ventures, and that the real issue facing the world today is not a scarcity of brilliant ideas, but rather a dearth of outstanding business people. The lack of business people, in other words. Regardless of whether we approve of their product or not, we urge our partners to launch a business of any kind. There is no fear of failure because it's part of success. All we want for others is to begin and win. Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. It is one of our favorite statements. We merely want others to launch a company that turns into a brand in order to push the average intellect and cultivate our passions of entrepreneurship. Put our all into it. Making ourselves an excellent business person should be our main motivation for starting a part-time venture. Money alone does not make us wealthy. It is the person we become along the way that determines our wealth. Pay attention to what we consume and ensure we are doing self-development daily. Many aspire to become accredited investors, which requires earning of $200,000 annually in earnings. That may seem like a lot of money to some, but it's not a good enough reason to launch a company. And an accredited investor, remember there are different types of investors that we talk about inside of our ebooks. Okay, and we're going to create just an ebook on that, but inside of how to build cash flow with the internet, we describe the different levels and categories of investors. An accredited investor is one of them, and these are people that have high-paying jobs. They make $200,000 annually plus, and they're allowed to participate in certain investments that the average person are not allowed to because of protection, because of the potential loss of money, and so they have to be able to afford losing the money. And so we also don't want to become accredited investors anyway, because we're striving to be a master investor, which is an inside investor, which is a true capitalist. And a true capitalist doesn't need money to make money. We can raise capital from thin air. We have financial education. We can put a deal together. We can attract money. Okay? So don't feel discouraged if you don't have $200,000. You can still become a master investor with no money. To be honest, launching a business comes with too many risks for such a modest investment. Don't start a business for pennies on the dollar if we decide to do so. The profit is so little that the hazards are too great. For a far larger payoff, do it. Why? Since creating a business will require everything we have to see it through to success. So business is meant to make us money. So if it's not going to make us money, we better not do it because it's just a hobby. As an employee, a person can earn $200,000 while taking on far less risk and worry. Having a higher purpose in mind is essential when starting a business. We have to figure out our whys we're doing it, right? Because when times get tough or difficult, we need to be able to persevere through those times. And if our whys are not defined before we go into our business, the mission needs to be in place. It needs to be a big enough why we're doing things. We need to chunk that up and we need to figure that out. Why are we doing what we're doing? So that we can choose the appropriate tasks and activities that we're going to be doing, the businesses that we're going to be acquiring. Because when it gets tough, we need to be able to continue moving forward. Because of this, it is advisable to begin by creating a successful side gig in order to gain experience in managing a profitable company. Establishing a business is a love affair. Having said that, money is not the main driving force behind starting a business despite its importance. The easiest way to respond to the question, why will we start a business, is to pose it in a different manner. Why will we continue to play golf? right? Because it's a game that we will always play for the rest of our lives. So money is something that we have to deal with for the rest of our life to the very last day. Okay, so if we're going to be playing a game, any game, for the rest of our lives, obligated to play that game, then we better master that game. It's just common sense, and it's the right thing to do, because the more we know about money, the more we can make money our slave, then the more freedom we have. And that means that we have the ability to attract our dreams and bring them into reality, because anything that we want in our lives, we have to have that excess of cash, but we have to have that money available to bring that into fruition. That's why it's important to master money. So the essence of the game contains the solution, because we will be playing for the rest of our lives the game of money. Entrepreneurs persevere because of the thrill, the challenge, the enthusiasm, and the possibility of a large reward at the end. We're doing it for freedom. That's why we should never jeopardize our freedom when we're building our wealth. So we do everything legally. We don't do anything that is illegal that will put us in a corner when it comes to freedom. Okay, and we see that happening all the time with that FTX individual that got years of prison because he did a big scam on people, and he thought being wealthy and doing it legally was going to be the right thing to do. He jeopardized the most important thing that we all have, is freedom. So that has no price. So you never jeopardize our freedom. We got to do things, and it might take longer. Okay, it doesn't necessarily need to take longer, because today we can tap into the velocity of cash flow instantly. We can literally launch our business right now. We can have sales coming in right now. Even though we never created the product, we can use other people's products. So we can become wealthy fast, okay, faster than before due to technology. But make sure we keep our hands clean when we're building our business, we're studying, we're doing financial education, we have the right team around us, and we have an attorney on call, we have a CPA, a bookkeeper, we showing exactly how much money we're making, right, on our papers, but we're minimizing taxes all the way to zero. You know how people talk about minimizing taxes and they say they don't want to show how much money they make? That is nonsense, okay, because the tax code is a package of incentives for wealthy entrepreneurs and inside investors, meaning that when we navigate through the tax code properly, we can minimize taxes by showing exactly how much money we're making. It doesn't mean that because we're going to show them that we're making X, Y, Z amount of money, now they're going to take that money away from us. No, because we will have business expenses and we have everything documented. So make sure that you understand documenting everything on the business is essential to build a true brand. I appreciate you being here with me today, bringing you the good and bad news of money, the business principles that work in all economies. And make sure that you also take advantage of all the tools that we have. Creating a company is a lifelong love affair driven by an entrepreneur spirit. The finest aspect, it is possible for anyone. So take advantage of our digital courses, ebooks. Click the link in the description. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope that you learn a lot from today's talk on how to be a wealthy investor. Stay extraordinary and wealthy. Bye for now.